Welcome, welcome. Happy to have you with me today. I'm working on another watercolor impressionist piece here for the slow stitch, but this one is going to have a particular purpose. I'm going to turn this one into a mini table runner and for my table, and it's long. I don't know exactly how long. Let's see here. Let me get my little other thing out. It's easier. It's 17 inches by 6 inches, and I'm going to finish stitching this, then I'm going to bind it, and this is going to be like a little mini table runner. And what I do with these, I want to make 2 or 3 of these for my 8-foot table, because it makes it nice to have a small one to go down the center of the table when you want to put condiments like your salad dressings, or maybe your butter, your salt and pepper, your ketchup, whatever. You want to just set down the center of the table so everyone can reach them. And so these little mini table runners work good for that. And this is such a pretty design when you use the gauzy fabrics that fray and have pretty edges. It just looks really, really nice. Can you see how pretty that is? And I'm just using a running stitch, just a straight stitch. I'm using it in 2 colors on this, 2 colors of floss, a dark gray and a pink that matches it, okay? And so that's what I intend to do with this when I'm done. But I wanted to show you again how I place some of this. And if you remember, this is made out of just old scarves. And we're just cutting them up to use them. We want to use the frayed edges, so I cut off the seam part of it. Okay. Yes. And I just, take my edges and distress them so that they work in. That's what makes one piece flow into the other really well, is that they don't have straight edges. I'm going to work this in over here. This is a very thin one, so I'm going to fold it up just a little bit and pin that in. Okay, now let's get a little piece of this. You don't want anything real symmetrical like squares and rectangles. You want just pieces of all shapes. Distress your edges. And I always, I never sew stitch out to the edge so that I can pull back fabrics and place in fabrics, okay? This little bit of white that kind of between the white and the darker color here, it kind of grounds this piece, and I like that. Let's see if we can get this, how this might look. Let's do it this way. Okay, that looks good. Now let's go get a piece of this. And I like this texture part really well, so I want to get a little of that. I'll work him on top of that. So let's pin this down. Out to the edge here. Okay, I'm liking that. All right. I think we need a little dark piece there. Let's see. Got some pretty good edges on here already. Yeah, all right. Let's pull him under here. Bring him out to that edge. Pin him in. We only have one little place here that is showing, and I'm going to use another piece of what we started with here, and I'm going to fold it in. Let's take this one out and bring him over. That's good. Okay. Let's let that one overlap that way. Okay, we have the whole piece covered now. I have stitched half of it, and I will stitch the rest and then come back and show you how the binding's going to go, okay? Let's go. I did the stitching, and then I did my scrappy border around. I did a backing piece, and you can see my scrappy border around, which makes this piece reversible. And this is a mini runner, table runner for my table, a mat to set things on down the center of my table, and I just love it. It's very boho to me, and I love that it's reversible. If I ever get anything stained truly bad on one side, then I still have another good side to use. It is quilt batting sandwiched in between these layers, so it's substantial in weight and thick enough that it'll hold a spill, and it has some heat protection too for my table. Now, besides this, I created a small hot pad that's done the same way, and that is reversible. Does have the quilt batting in the middle. And I love it too, and this could be for smaller, like serving bowls of vegetables or things like that. Bread plate, whatever, that I wanted to put down the center of the table with this for different size bowls and things. I love that. Isn't that cool? Very pretty. These are also washable, and they're ironable, so I like that about them too. Now, just in case you'd like to know how I put these together, I've got another one that's like this one, only different colors, that I'm working on, and I thought I would show that to you. This is my backing fabric. I cut it a little bigger than the piece that I wanted. Now, what I did here was I have a piece of batting cut to a particular shape. Then I layered in the different textiles, covered it in different fabric scraps, and put threads and just whatever I wanted to put on there. And then I layered a piece of netting over that. Okay. It's like tulle, really fine. And that then will get, I will pin it to this back piece. Okay. And then what I do is I come in and I trim this even with the piece that I'm working on. Okay. I would trim that all the way around. All right. Then, let me go ahead and do that so I won't have to keep fighting with it. Okay, one more. Okay, now that's ready to go. Now what I did to use to bind these, if you remember, I have a scrappy binding, double-sided. This comes out of this is about a 2-inch, yes, 2-inch wide. In some places, depending on, you know, how it hangs over, it might be a little wider than that. It might be an inch thinner, but right at 2 inches all the way. And what I did was then I took that and I halved it, basically folded it over, and that became my binding for my piece, okay? Then what I did was I cut each side and then came in and layered in the next side, the next side, the next side. And you can see that this side is laid over this side. This side is laid over that side. That side is laid over that side. So I just went going around, pinned them down. And then I came in and I sewed very close to the outside edge, all the way around, secured it well, come in and sewed the inside edge, okay? And that kept everything down well enough. If some of the edges are a little, that's okay. It's going to fray and tatter. That's part of the looks. It's very scrappy to start with. Isn't that boho? I love it. I love it. Another project I love. And so this one is next up, and I will be finishing it, and there will be 2 of those. And I'm going to make some just a little bit smaller ones, not too much smaller, but a little smaller. I'm going to be making over time coasters that will go at each place setting. So I will have my little table runner. I will have individual hot pads to set dishes on down the table, and then I will have coasters for each of my place settings to put glasses on to catch the condensation and moisture. And so my tabletop will be protected all the way around. It's 8 foot long, if you saw in my video that I made. So I'd really, I'd have to get a double tablecloth situation, and I really don't want to do that. I like the top of the table. It's very rustic. It's made out of wood, and I want it to show. So I'd just rather put these smaller things around as I'm using. And what a wonderful scrap project that is. It eats up a lot of scraps. Let me tell you, by the time you sew these, and I sew these in strips, I think my fabric is, when I tear it, I think it's 44 inches. So I get 44-inch lengths out of these when I get through with them. And this one was, like I said, done in a color. This one is done just all scrappy, whatever. And then I cut up and use them for everything, as they're always showing up in my projects. They're just so versatile. So I'm going to make some more because I don't have, these are all I got left, and neither one of these is enough to finish off this one. So I'm going to make some more and save these for other projects that I need littler pieces for. And then this one, of course, was done, and it was done in that purple, and so it ate up quite a bit of that purple. And I just love this because it has this hand-stitched watercolor piece in the middle and the scrappy on the outside. Very boho, very scrappy. So, what do you think? Do you love it? I love it. What's not to love about it? It's scrappy. I do love it. Love it. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. Till next time, please, you stay scrap happy.